Okay, so I want to talk about faith and love real quick, and how those are truly the essence of everything we say we believe, right? When someone says, like, are you of the faith? Well, sometimes we think it just, okay, Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and we list these belief systems. But what really is the faith? The faith is believing God, the person, the nature of the Father, the love, right? And so that's why we can't separate us believing from us having his indwelling. Again, Simba in Lion King could not fulfill his full call until he knew and believed his kingship as what the Father is and was. As he is, so are we. So the gospel cannot be fully walked out, fully experienced, fully expressed, fully known if there is not complete union and oneness, living, moving, having our being in him. It's not a full, true gospel until, and I'll show you why. It says, Galatians 2:20, right? So I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I, ego, my physical realm self that lives, but Christ, my new title, my new essence that lives through me and as me. And the life I now walk out in the flesh realm, I live by faith in the Son of God. Okay, what type of faith again? Who what? Loved me and gave himself for me. So the faith, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved and gave himself for me and as me. So the faith is a love transfer of being. Now he is being through us. And I'll show you two more things quickly. It says this, and this has always just been such a beautiful, simple verse. Examine yourselves, this is Paul saying to Corinthians, to see whether you're in the faith. What faith? The love faith. See whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. Or do you not realize this about yourself, that Jesus Christ is within you? Examine yourselves to make sure that you're in the faith. Do you not know that Christ is within you? That's the faith. It's that he loved me enough to inhabit me. He loved me enough to become me, to not see the separation, to not allow sin and separation consciousness to separate our being. It truly, I was taught my whole life growing up, sin separates us from God. No, it blinded me to the understanding of the fact that he wants to clothe himself as me. And it says finally in the love chapter, right, or I guess the secondary love chapter in 1 John, it says, by this we know we abide in him and he in us, for he has given us his spirit. We have seen and testified the Father has sent his Son to be the Savior of the world. Whoever confesses that Jesus is the Son of God, God abides in him and he in God, abiding, sinking into being of one. So we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us, right? The faith is in the love. The faith is not in a belief system and getting a right doctrine gospel. The faith is in the person and love of God. Ready? It says God is love, and whoever abides in love is abiding in God, and God abiding in him. By this love, it's been perfected with us, so that we might what? Have confidence in the day of judgment, because as he is, so we are in this world. There's no fear in love, but the perfect love of God casts out fear. Fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears hasn't been perfected in love. We love because he first loved us. So that later in the chapter it says, if your conscience condemns you, God is greater than your conscience. If your heart condemns you, God is greater than your heart. So this love is greater. It surpasses knowledge, that we be filled with the fullness of God, Ephesians 3, by which all name, every family on heaven and earth has been named. When you were talking about the family thing, that Ephesians verse, I bow my knee to the Father, on which every family on heaven and earth is named. And it goes into detail about being rooted and grounded in love. The faith we have is the faith in the love nature of God, which then we will not fear. We will step confidently and boldly into a full love, which does not fear judgment. The reason why people don't want to get saved and give their life to God is because they're not 100% sure that he loves them. And the trust fall of faith is into the love that he's catching and holding. And then when you really fall into the love, the union, the marriage, the oneness of that, the two becoming one flesh, is the byproduct. Do you not know that Christ is within you? Examine yourself to see if you're in the faith of love, the love that merged. I'm truly speaking a mystery. Christ in the body. That this is a bridal marriage union that happened. And that's the love. The love is so much deeper than a belief system, because if I had a belief system that my wife's my wife, meanwhile she lived down the street, we lived separate houses, separate everything separate, bank accounts, no, not the same bed, nothing, then we're not living out of character. But do you not know that Christ is within you? Examine yourself, see if you're in the faith. Perfected love casts out fear, no fear of judgment, fully shame-free. And yeah, so faith and love having to come together. This is the faith, the union.